next topic is politicking. And for this topic, we are talking police brutality. We're gonna share our own horror stories. So if you want to start, Benny Hanna.
Yeah, when it comes to that shit, I really ain't got no real bad experience with the law, cause when they come around, I normally just do what the fuck they say so I can get the fuck on, cause I don't fuck with them shit. They ain't on my team, I ain't on their team. So, but do I got stories of homies getting their ass beat or hit by cars from running or all guns put on them, drugs, all type of shit? Oh hell yeah, that shit go on every day. That shit going all the time. That's just how it is when you grow up in the hood. Shit, that's what comes with it. Shit, that's one of them little perks that come with the hood shit. Harassment and shit getting planned on you. That's a little perk. So shit, you gotta learn how to shit weed from that shit. Like yeah, you might get asshole cops that you wanna say something to, but you gotta remember at the end of the day, shit, you ain't in the win and it's their words against yours. So you gotta learn how to dress that shit up and move right. If you want to continue to stay out here, because if the niggas want to, they'll get you the fuck out the way. Facts.
So my story is actually I got a couple stories. I'm gonna share one though. So my parents, they own a business, and we live on top of the business. So I was probably like 19, I believe like 19, 20, and my parents had went out of town, and it was in the summertime, so we were back in the burbs, and it was they call it loitering when you're around a business and you just kicking it outside, but it was that's where I live. So we're outside or whatever, we kicking it, listening to music, loud music, just having fun, enjoying that time. Police pull up on us like we got a call. Now my dad is a councilman. He's like I got a call and saying that we have a complaint from Councilman Morris because he lives at where we live. So he's like, yeah, I just got a complaint from Councilman Morris. And I'm like, yeah? Like, I'm going right along with his ass. And he's like, yeah, I got a complaint. He told me that he wants you guys off his property, so you guys need to move now. I'm like, and I told him, like, I'm not going nowhere. And he was like, or you can go to jail. And I said, like, it's a white cop, it's a bunch of black, it's a couple boys, a couple girls. And I'm like, I'm not going anywhere. So I showed him my ID, and it's saying, like, I live here. And I just thought, like, to me, that was my first experience, like, with a police officer that kind of went wrong. You know what I mean? And it was just like, I just think, like, they really are some assholes, and I definitely think, like, they just be on bullshit with us. Like, nobody called them. You know what I'm saying? I know nobody called him because my dad not in town, so I know he didn't put a call. It's just like, they, like, fucking with us. And that's just, like, it was a different reality check because I kind of grew up I definitely grew up privileged. I didn't really grow up like sheltered, but in a sense I went to like private school, so I was around white people all day. You know what I mean? I was the only black girl to graduate from only graduated from my class, only black girl. So that being said, it was like a culture shock for me because I've never had that type of experience. You know what I mean? And that just really taught me like that motherfuckers be above the law. You know what I mean? Like
How old were you in this?
I was like 19, 20. I was 19, 20. And of course my friends, they got gone quick. Like they like, nah, we don't fuck with police.
Well, I ask because back in the day, the old school cops, dealing with the lady, you get off kind of like easy.
He ain't get no fuck.
Just pull up a little leg, show him. No, I'm just kidding.
Nah, but he ain't get no fuck. And it was just weird. Like that was something like, and I didn't get like manhandled or anything like that. But it was something like, why are you on that with us? You know what I'm saying? Like it's not like we was smoking, drinking, we just kicking it.
Y'all got it so easy with the police.
That's what I'm saying. Back in the day, when, there weren't cameras and that kind of thing in the 60s, cops probably just pulled girls over if they had on a low-cut shirt. Yeah. Just like, hey,
Cops are getting a lot more aggressive with black women now. I can't say that. It's getting a lot more rough. I see a lot more videos of girls yelling, being like thrown on the ground and handcuffed for yelling, stuff like that, like verbal stuff. Like, so yeah, it's getting real.
So yeah, very interesting story. I really found that interesting, Simone. When it comes to the police question, I find myself very troubled to take a concrete position because I'm weighing the fact that there are injustices throughout the history of the world with authority and the common people. But there's also, as a society, we've established that, a police force is something we need in order to allow people to, service that, position. They have to, in order to allow people to safely service that position of being a police officer, they have to be allowed certain, domain over the subjects that they have to police. So it's a difficult question. I don't think that the media coverage in recent times has done that issue any justice. I think it's only exacerbated it in the fact that you probably do have, certain subsets of the greater, citizenship of this country that have received, maybe certain treatments that weren't ideal throughout history. And, you have a media that's for profit. You have a media that exploits, the emotional weaknesses of the entire country. And I don't know that me seeing, I think my horror story is really turning on the news all the time and seeing, stations like CNN, who I have no beef with, if you want to hire me as, some kind of like cool analyst or something, I gotta come on tell the news, I got you. But I think that, they exacerbate the problems. They run the same news stories over and over and over so that they don't have to exercise good journalism and get new stories. I don't think that they equally cover issues based on them equally being as impactful. I don't think that if certain types of people get so-called maybe shot or killed by police, they'll readily cover it as other groups. Because, one story is going to get front page of every newspaper in America the same day, and one story is going to get swept under the rug and kind of pushed to the side because no politicians can find a way to profit off of it, get votes off of it, etc. So we have a very complicated situation, right? Overall, I think that, the emotional vulnerability of certain communities is being exploited overall. And I think that, when it comes to police, maybe, we talk about politics. We talk about, if you want to make a change in the system, maybe more people should get involved. Then you get things like, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, 29 years old, getting elected to, Congress. And you have a lot of people running for local office and this type of thing saying, oh, we want to take hold of the political system. If you want to change, policing, why wouldn't you approach that the same way? Would really be my question. Why not maybe seek involvement, seek to understand the dynamics of these people's roles, and maybe even step into the footsteps of them at some point in time, and make a difference. And that's just a thought. I'm not saying that's the concrete solution. It's just my first thought, maybe.
Police brutality, that shit gonna always go on because they rule shit. They got us outnumbered. Like, we regular pedestrians. Like, just how they call black motherfuckers or everybody else gangs, shit, they a gang too. So, it's just like if motherfuckers come up in here right now and do something, and I pull out something and fuck them up, and the police come. Shit, y'all witness to it, but if it look like I'm finna go to jail, what y'all gonna do? Y'all gonna lie in my favor. Y'all, no, he ain't do it like that. He did it like this, and that's all they doing it. But it's fucked up because they doing it to regular people. They doing it to good people, and they doing it to some people that's doing bad. So with that shit going on, we ain't gonna never be able to win because just as well as they recruit new motherfuckers, they gonna break them.
Well, when do we
they
get
gonna break them like you break a nigga in the game?
No, I agree with that. When do we get to a point though where it's not so much when it comes to police? I think that the underlying problem is maybe the verbiage being used and the underlying factors. When we say us and them, police are supposed to be representatives of the community. They're supposed to be individuals making the community better, safer, and more ideal.
But it can never be the people of the community because the people that's from the community, the police never let them police the community. Like if you from 103rd and you become a cop, chances are you're not gonna be policing on 103rd. They gonna have your ass up north somewhere. And the nigga up north gonna be over here where he don't know shit about it.
Is that right?
I
don't know that that's
jittery.
necessarily
He never
the case,
been in a situation like that. Majority of the situations, that's how it going, bro. You know, niggas getting when you see cops, it's not a lot of cops. Name me some cops you know that's from your area. You might have a cop say he on the 103rd, he from 103rd, he might be doing this, he might be doing that. But half of them cops, bro, they not from your area.
The thing is,
they ain't grow up in your background.
Here's the thing, and I grew up, you know, with a myriad of people from several different backgrounds. But to your point, I don't know that that's necessarily completely accurate. That, you know, they're really just mixing it up. Like, oh, you're from here, you go there. You're from here, you go there. What probably is more overwhelmingly happening, and the numbers back this up, is certain communities don't have an overwhelming population of people attempting to, you know, they probably don't have a sufficient enough amount of representatives from that said community in the force at all to populate the amount of police needed.
It's like a background check, so check this out. Man, you join the academy. You are squeaky, you probably like squeaky clean, or you probably decent. Then they look at my background. Oh, he from this area. This shit went on in this area. We see he got these priors when he was a little boy. He changed his life. Now he want to be a cop. We see he got this and that. Okay, bam. So now when he come to the academy, we gonna send him over here where ain't a lot of shit going on like that. And we see your background. Yeah, we see you might grow up in something, but you still a good kid. You ain't never got into no trouble. You dodge shit. We gonna send you over here cause you from over there a little bit, but you not from over there a little bit. So you ain't never been in no trouble, no type of shit. And them the cops, when you used to go to school, you call them the cops, you be like, he an asshole. Like, he a cop and he ain't never been in no street shit. He just snatching up motherfuckers for no reason. And that's why people say that, because this nigga might have grew up in the hood, but one of them niggas that didn't fit in with the hood. He went out there with the hood niggas.
Well,
so now when he become a cop, now when he becomes a cop, they see what background he from. They see his family and everything. They see what background he from. We gonna put him over here. He ain't never been in no trouble. And now when he go over there, he think he know the niggas, cause he grew up in that type of shit. But he was never accepted. He think he know them niggas though. So the moment he says some bullshit, he on their ass and he treating them bogus just because he think he know them.
Your perspective is endorsing criminal. Your perspective in a way is enabling criminality though, and I'll tell you why. Because you're basically saying, though this person is from the neighborhood, he's not engaged with the criminal activity of the neighborhood. Therefore, he can't relate to the criminal activity.
He's not engaged with the people, bro.
He is engaged with the people.
But the thing is, what y'all gotta realize,
the people who are not criminals are also the people.
The thing about it is, regardless, what y'all not realizing is, no matter who you are, no matter if you black, white, Puerto Rican, or Asian, motherfuckers not gonna. If you the police, no one's gonna fuck with you. You get what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't matter if you are from 103rd. You still, if I kill somebody, you still gonna take me to jail. If I'm selling coke, you still gonna take me to jail. Nobody gives a fuck about that. You know what I'm saying? That's not true. Yeah, it definitely is.
That's all you get like.
Well, as to your point,
right,
being a police officer, your whole job is to approach people against their will. I understand from that perspective.
No, because this is the thing. If he's from 103rd, right? If you from 103rd and you a nigga from 103rd and you selling coke, right? It don't matter if I'm from 103rd. I can sympathize with you all I want to. You get what I'm saying? I still gotta take your ass to jail.
That's not true.
So you think they gonna let you pass?
Yes.
Get the fuck out of here.
Yes.
There's certain levels of discretion.
It's some cops that won't tell you that on camera, but we sit in this barbershop with police officers that'll tell you, like, I'm not dealing with weed. Like, I know you did this. I'm not taking that in. I don't want to do that paperwork because it's not gonna change the shit. So it's cops that's from certain areas that know certain people that's like, gee, if you do some big shit, you going to jail. But a lot of the shit that y'all do on a regular basis, I can't. It's
different. It's different when I don't feel like they're gonna fuck with you, and that's different. Like when white police officers, they tend to fuck with you. You get what I'm saying? They tend to watch you. I don't think they watching you, but if you found out, they taking you to jail, G.
Oh.
Yes,
not
G.
true. I'm telling you, I just had a cop tell me.
It might not be that. It might not be true for that situation, though, Terry.
You just said you had one police incident. can't tell that man about nothing about no police officer.
That means
I'm telling you, I know multiple.
Let me ask you this though. I think everybody can engage because there is data universally available on police encounters. So just because you have not had in your entire life consistent run-ins with police does not mean you cannot comment on the subject.
That doesn't mean what? No, it doesn't. No one said I was biased.
I think we have data that
I think y'all arguing something.
We have non-biased data.
That's not something that you can record though. That's not something that you can present with data. What she's saying is not something that you can represent with data.
What I'm saying
Correct,
is,
it's anecdotal.
But this is what I'm telling you. No matter if he ran in the police for 10 times, you get what I'm saying? And I've never ran in the police. You can't tell me I don't know about situations that he has more experience, but that means nothing. You know what I'm saying? At this point, it doesn't. It means that you know how police work. But it doesn't mean I don't know how police work. You know what I'm saying?
And I'm not saying that you don't know or that you whatever. I'm just saying that I know that there are cops who, in plenty of domestic situations, they pull up. They supposed to take the man. They supposed to take you to jail, bro. Just go home. Just go home. A nigga keep talking, woo. I try to get you to pass. Now you're going to jail. Like it's plenty of situations where cops that's from that area are giving you breaks that other cops are not going to give you. Like that happens.
But is this whole situation based? See, my thing is this: I don't think the situation is completely based on people being reluctant to give breaks. Like it's not about, there's a certain level of cohesive communication that needs to happen between police community and police. Right. It's a two-way street. Because in order for me as a police officer to safely do my job, I have to operate in a manner that I'm not being threatened.
He's not saying giving breaks. He's just saying police.
He is saying giving breaks.
He's saying that out of his mouth, but he's just basically saying police in the community. Like they know these people. Like with another cop, they come over, he don't know these people. Just what I was just into.
You can get to know the people through being
clean background.
You can get to know the people.
He can be from the hood area, but never got in no trouble. And they put him in the hood.
But getting in trouble does not.
What y'all arguing is not.
Getting in trouble does not indicate that you know the people. You can know the people and not be a criminal element. You can still have knowledge of the area without being a criminal.
I think what the beef, like what y'all saying is different in a way that you can know the people. What you saying is that you're not gonna be. If I never smoked weed before, if I don't fuck with weed, and I see a nigga with 30 grams in his car, I'm gonna look at that as more criminal than if I have smoked weed before. You get what I'm saying? Like if I'm a weed smoker and I'm a police officer now and I catch you with some weed, I'm gonna look at that like, okay, that's just a little weed. You can go ahead and go home. If I never fucked with weed, I'm gonna look at that like that's illegal. You get what I'm saying? So I don't think he's saying that they don't know the people literally. I'm saying you're not understanding the same. You don't have an understand. Like you're not understanding the same.
I totally agree with that. But that goes beyond a race element. That also even goes beyond a.
But it's brutality though. But it's brutality.
We brought up. I heard the term, racial terms thrown around. So I just want to comment
just brutality. I'm just saying, like you said.
Police brutality, I believe, literally, violence, in excess committed by police against citizens. In many cases, occurs when.
But brutality just ain't violence, bro. Motherfucker put some dope in my car. That's brutality, bro. Motherfucker put a pound of weed on me, bro. That's brutality. They doing me wrong.
So just corruption in general. You mean corruption? So the misconduct and corruption.
All that shit gonna fall under the same umbrella.
The interesting portion is you indicated that someone who has an element of criminality and is from a certain area, they will be reluctant to place them to do service in that area due to their criminality. And what you spoke about kind of speaks to maybe why that's happening. I'm not defending that practice, but probably the logic is that they might be more likely to get involved with the criminal element and use the office of a police officer to be a criminal, to place drugs in a certain. If I'm selling drugs, I might plant drugs on arrival or something. And we have seen things that happen like this. Watch the movie Black Mass. The entire premise was the fact that Whitey Bulger, a famous criminal from Boston, was working with police to combat his rivals in the criminal enterprise.
The thing about what y'all saying is, it's gonna be police officers that can be from the same place you're from, and they can cut you some slack. But it's also some that are from where you're from and not gonna cut you no slack. You get what I'm saying?
That doesn't.
But it's getting cut slack. The question is getting cut slack. Cutting slack to criminals, is that necessarily Is that
that's
really
not. But that's not the thing
solution
is.
here?
What I'm saying is, all that what we're talking about. It has nothing like. I think brutality doesn't. I don't think police brutality will end if you get motherfuckers from the same hood. You should be in that hood. I don't think that's gonna stop police brutality.
I think it would.
No.
I think it would.
No.
But it's
I ain't saying from the same hood. I'm just saying from the same background.
That's not gonna stop police brutality.
From the same background, from the same areas. That's all I'm saying.
A lot of times, when you think about like old motherfuckers, when you have a lot of times when police brutality happens, sometimes it doesn't even happen in your hood. You get what I'm saying? A lot of times it can happen when you're not in your hood and they don't recognize you. You get what I'm saying? Like when you got a black man, they in an all white neighborhood, they pulling your ass over. What are you doing here? You get what I'm saying?
Right.
So that's what I'm saying. I definitely think we should.
But that got something to do with what I'm saying though.
That's
because you saying a black guy that's in an all white neighborhood. So he's saying if this black dude was in his own area and you was in your own area, that's kind of.
And what I'm saying,
is that a race element or
but
is
this
that
is what I'm
element
saying.
of being a
It's
resident?
more of a culture.
But where do you think? Where do y'all think police brutality happens more?
In the hood.
Is it because they're in? No. What I'm saying is, okay. So do you think it happens more in the hood too?
Why wouldn't I think that? Of course.
It's a lot of reasons why you wouldn't think it because.
No,
well, actually,
the only reason why I wouldn't think that because I watch TV. That shit happen more in the hood.
Actually, FBI crime statistics reflect that most police killings occurred. I mean, what are we considering the hood? Before I say this, can we more well define the hood?
You know what the hood is. You know what the hood is.
Okay, but can we for the viewers and everybody involved define what is the hood?
Black and Latino and probably.
Black and so it's a racial element. So FBI crime
it's also
statistics.
a class element as well. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Okay, so what do we define in the hood? Can we just nail it down?
No, I'm saying black and Latino in impoverished neighborhoods. So low social economic status. Black
Okay, so if it's not black or Latino, it's excluded.
No.
Yes.
Wait.
Okay. Well, let's define.
Because at the end of the day, okay. So what you're saying, then you're contradicting yourself because it's different people that aren't black or Latino that can be impoverished. You get what I'm saying?
That's why I'm asking. Can we set all the parameters really quick?
I'm not contradicting anything. He asked me when I say the hood, what am I talking about? I'm talking about black and Latino.
That's what he's talking about. Do you want to?
So black. So low economic status for black and Latinos. That's what you're saying.
That's the hood.
Okay.
A white trailer park is not a hood.
Just let me predicate. I want real quick, and then all I want to say is FBI crime statistics reflect that the majority of police killings, vast majority, occur to individuals that wouldn't fall under that designation. That's all I'm saying. Majority racially, majority.
Don't believe nothing the government tell you, bro.
You can't say you
bro.
can't
You can't come here telling me something about what the FBI tell me. What a lot of people get killed there with police brutality, bro. And we see it every day when we wake up, bro. And we from the hood, bro.
You see a police killing every day,
bro. That's not just police brutality. Ass beating, bro. Pulling motherfuckers, throwing them on the hood,
You see that every day,
bro. Growing up in the hood. Yes, I see that every day,
man. It's a question.
I'm just saying.
I did not.
I see that every day,
So when you talk
I didn't necessarily. We have different, but I haven't seen that. So
I ain't gonna tell you I ain't seen it, bro. I ain't seen that.
I know that a lot of. So here's the thing: if we're gonna have a productive discussion about this, I think that data matters. I think that we have to pull certain statistics out. We have to look at certain numbers if we want to have a conversation on a level playing field that parses out all of our individual biases. Oftentimes, people will use these statistics.
But you don't need some shit. You don't need no data for. The Wendy's, do McDonald's sell more burgers than Wendy's? Certain shit you don't need no data for, bro.
That's how you know because
but you don't know.
but listen, you don't even need that.
These
no.
are
Word of mouth can get you that. You don't
These are Wait, excuse me.
Word of mouth can get you that shit.
These are
put that shit on machine.
These are multinational companies, bro.
They burgers cost
These
$1,
are
bro.
companies that exist.
I don't need you to put that in no machine that Wendy's outsold them. They burgers cost $1, bro.
Wendy's got shit for $1 too, though.
These burgers cost $1, bro.
Let's get this on track.
One more comment to his statement. I have to rebuttal that.
Yeah,
so two things. These are multinational companies, so your experience in a drive-thru at a Wendy's or McDonald's or trying to holler at girls in the lobby during high school lunch does not tell you who's selling more burgers when they're doing over 1 billion sold. And you can tell that on the sign.
Back to my point. That's my point, yeah.
Second off, the prices don't tell you who's selling more because generally speaking, no. Basic rules of economics would say that if you're selling less, you would try to undercut the price of who's selling more than them. So oftentimes the people with lower prices are selling less. That's why the prices are lower.
your point with stats, you saying that the FBI numbers reflect that more killings happen in places that I'm not considering.
That are considered traditionally
same
considered
people took
white.
down the Panthers.
Wait. So that doesn't say that it's not happening more, because there's the America's 71% white, correct?
Rough.
So if I was to ask you who are the most people, it's more white people on welfare than black people. But there's a highest percentage of black people on welfare than white people.
Within the so-called black community, and I use race loosely because it's a concept I don't really fully believe.
Exactly. So that number.
But I see what you're saying. Proportionately more black people are on welfare, and to your point, proportionately more black people suffer from police killings than white people. But I just wanted something was asserted that went against that, and I just wanted to say.
Yeah. So basically, what I'm saying is, it's not that number doesn't necessarily reflect the way that it should reflect. Another thing about that is that when we talk about police brutality, we can't just talk about killings. If a police beat the shit out of somebody across the street, there's not going to be data to reflect that because it's not going to be reported. You know what I'm saying?
Well, also episodes of police violence also, the stats run the same way.
What do you mean?
Just like more so-called black and Latino people, just like more white people suffer from police killings annually, more white people suffer from police violence annually.
We don't. What I'm saying is, we don't know how many people suffer from police violence, because if a police officer beats the shit out of me, who am I going to call?
Ain't no justice gonna be done with that.
It's not going to be reported.
I disagree with that. It's generally going to be on social media the next day and probably cable news.
No,
in
because
today's society.
the thing is, why we're so strong on police brutality now is because it has been recorded. Police brutality been happening for years now.
Mm-hmm.
We were strong on it then, though. We were strong on it then. We just ain't had cameras and shit.
That's what I'm saying.
We just ain't fake have a voice.
There's no problem with the citizen cameras, but the thing is, the giants corporations are exploiting the people's movement here, and they're promoting videos that indicate certain populations experiencing violence, and more so hiding videos of others because it doesn't fit the narrative that makes them money, that makes them advertising dollars, that makes politicians that fund these operations get elected.
So I would say this as well. When you talk about who's policing your neighborhood, and you talk about why, I feel like it is systematic. I don't necessarily agree with the example you gave about, like, if I had this background, they gonna see me over here. If you got a certain background, you're not getting in at all. So that's another systematic thing. Is that if you have a certain background, it excludes you from being a police officer.
No, I'm not saying like you corrupt, bro. I'm saying the background.
When you have your background check.
I'm saying the back, but I'm saying though, like when they do a background check on you, bro. They did your cousins. They know about your cousin Bernard, your cousin Peter.
Exactly.
They know about all of them. So that's what I mean background. Just not you. But you accustomed to.
But what he's saying, you're not even gonna be able to be a cop.
That's all I'm saying is that you're not gonna get considered. Period. So like, I have a cousin who's involved in certain shit that I can't be a cop because I literally took the test. I cannot be a Chicago police officer because I'm closely related to somebody who done a crime. Mm-hmm. That's systematic. Because people from this neighborhood who haven't done shit can't be cops. Like, that's systematic. But
that happened to my cousin just now.
I could have done crimes myself. I have an arrest record myself, but I can be a teacher and work with kids, but I can't be a cop. That's systematic.
I think we totally need to restructure on the police level and the citizen level just how we view police.
Yeah, but it's the same thing as a teacher though, because who would you rather have teaching your kids? Somebody who's from your kid's environment, who grew up. So when you have most school counselors are 96% white middle class women, but they're diagnosing black boys who they've never experienced with ADHD because they act the same way we see them act every day, and we know it's completely normal. That's a problem. What do we consider?
Along what lines do we judge? Relativity. Like I see what you're saying, and I agree. You're saying, to Ben's point, he's saying, he would like to see the police relate to the people of the community more. You're saying you would like to see the educational staff relate to the students more. What do we judge to determine someone can relate? I don't necessarily think because someone lives next door to you that they are the best candidate to judge whether or not you're disobeying the law. I don't necessarily think that it's great to just get this negative feedback loop where you're in an echo chamber because you're around all people who literally so-called had the
But
same
why
experience.
you don't see it? Not to cut you off, bro.
I've benefited from having
Yeah.
experiences with a lot of different people from all different continents.
But when you talk like culture and how you talk data, like whites teach whites, look how they turn out. Japanese teach Japanese, look how they turn out. China teach China, look how they turn out. So why blacks can't teach black and look how we turn out?
I never said anybody can't teach anyone. What I said was I don't necessarily know that.
No, I'm into what
race
I'm saying.
What I'm saying is I don't necessarily believe race
I'm not saying
is the factor that makes someone relate to you necessarily the most. Maybe in some cases it is. I think we could open up maybe we should discuss the factors regarding that. But I don't think just because someone comes from your neighborhood, whatever race they are, I don't think because someone's the same race as you, because someone necessarily comes from your neighborhood, is the same age group as you, that they are the best candidate to necessarily police you, that they are necessarily the best. Maybe we should judge,
Bro,
what does it take to police somebody?
I feel exactly what you're saying, and I fuck with all races, but I want somebody to look like me, because I feel like they understand. They understand me better.
Well, is your race the most defining characteristic you have? Is that what defines you the most?
In today's society, yes. That's all I got is my color and my race.
Okay,
that's
so
all
this,
I got is my color.
this is what I do want it to be known.
That's what help you get to the finish line, and that's what help keep you from the finish line.
But the thing is about that, it's two things about it. You can have somebody to teach you, and it's dope to have somebody that is familiar to you around you, and that's facts. However, just because it's not something that you can secure though. That I think that people like if you would have got a black police officer, it's not 100. You can't bet your money that they're going to dismiss everything. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. And in a perfect world, you know what I'm saying? But however, it's still I do think that it goes on it's two different sides of that, because if you get a police officer that is dismissing too much, then it becomes even worse for the community. You get what I'm saying? And I think that's what needs. It kind of the system. If it was like that and we could get a lot, I think it would work, but it also would kind of fuck it up as well. Because I think no, but for real, because now things become less safe. Because
it can because the people
because
know the people so well.
You know what I'm saying?
You know bullshit when you smell it from a black motherfucker if you black. So I get what you're saying.
Let me ask you this, Ben. So let me ask you and Simone. That was a good point, Simone, and also Ben. My sentiment is that it's very dangerous when we start defining ourselves within the confines. I mean, you can be proud of whatever group you identify with, but when you constrict yourself to the confines of a pre-made group identity that's based on the societal constructs, you really limit, the capacity of the entity.
You can't run from that shit, man. You black, you can't run from that shit. You Chinese, you can't run from that shit. You Asian, you can't run from that shit.
That's not what he's saying, though. What he's saying is,
I'm not saying.
He's just saying that.
I'm not saying run from anything.
As well.
It's not a denial.
No, it's not
a denial.
And he's saying don't confine yourself to only realize.
I'm almost done. The primary premise of the society we live in, Western America, free enterprise, the things that have created the freedoms we do experience, though, we do need to chip away and make things better as much as we can. Obviously, we're living with, a greater standard of living than every other human individual in society that ever lived. And a lot of that is because of the entity of the individual, the sovereignty of the individual, the fact that your individual self, you have the right to express that in every form. And I think that when we get away from that and we commit ourselves to the confines of this ready-made group identity, when we marginalize ourselves to just be a representative of a greater group, we take away what we might even have to contribute to that greater group. Do you see what I'm saying?
I see exactly what you're saying.
I think that once we get to looking at each other as individuals, we'll realize that that's the ultimate group identity, because we can narrow things down to race. Then when it gets to race, like Terry said, it gets to income. Then it gets to, okay, what kind of parents did you grow up with? Then it gets to, okay, what kind of school did you go to? Simone said she went to a different schooling scenario than many people probably from her community. And there's all these different factors that we start to separate it through, and you start to see that when you look at the news. They come up with a new victim group and identity group every day.
But
so ultimately, this is all going to boil down to the individual, because we all have a different individual experience. And what I'm saying is, maybe we should look at the qualifications for a police officer and say, maybe we should really study, what does it take to peacefully neutralize a criminal threat without hurting anyone? And we should find individuals that meet that criteria best and place them accordingly. Maybe if we do race, like Simone said, that could go south and left really quick too.
I'd rather with the police shit, bro, I'd rather be policed by my own people. Like I said, ain't nobody gonna understand.
But if you're a
me.
criminal,
Nobody,
sir, if you're a criminal,
it don't matter if
do
I'm
we
a criminal.
give, so we let the choice.
No, I'm not saying
you're a criminal, but you're saying that from the element of I'm doing wrong.
Vinny,
I want to be policed by people who don't care that I'm doing wrong.
I'm not saying they're doing dirt, bro. This is what I'm saying, Vinny. I'd rather be policed by my own people, bro, because they understand me, bro. And that's all I'm saying. They understand me. So not saying that they gonna let me do dirt, but they understand me, bro. If I'd rather like it might sound crazy. I'd rather a black motherfucker telling me to shut the fuck up, put your hands on the hood, than a white motherfucker telling me shut the fuck up, put your hands on the hood.
Let me ask you this.
Cause listen, bro. We black people, yeah. Like she say, black people, when a black person gonna smell the bullshit coming towards their own people. So like she say, it might be some bias there, but I take that bias, cause I know that's coming. I take that bias. With that white motherfucker, I know that, or that other person, I know that bias coming too, but it's gonna come in a totally different. It's gonna come in a whole totally different way that I wasn't prepared for, bro. So that's why I'd rather be policed by my people, like you said. Talk about your own people, because you see everybody else doing it, and look, whites doing whites, blacks doing whites. We always let somebody come in and infiltrate what we got going. Let's do blacks on blacks. Y'all never want to do that. Y'all always say black people got the biggest heart. They always want to make something global and make something this and make something that, but you never get rewarded for that.
But the thing about
in order for that to happen, just like I said,
that, bro. The world been going on this long, bro. It ain't happened yet. It's gonna die, and it's not. You're gonna die.
In order for that to happen, you need people to try to get involved with policing.
Okay.
Like I started off saying, if you don't have anyone trying to get involved, the scenario you're painting is literally impossible, because you can't 3D print a black police officer. It has to be an individual black person, so-called black person, if you want to categorize people from that angle. It has to be a black person that has a background in life and decides to commit their life to this career. You can't just 3D print black police officers. You have to have people from that background who want to do it, who want to get involved, just like you have people getting involved with politics, getting involved with science, degrees, etc. You have to have participation in the police unit to get the outcome that you state that you want, sir.
So the thing is, okay, and we're going to try to wrap this up, but it's three things that I do want to say. One, like you said, you're going to have to get people that are eligible. Because the thing is, we can cry about how the system works, but this is how it's going. You know what I'm saying? And if we don't do something to change, we can't just sit and talk about it. We got to do something about it. That's number one. Number two, black people have to want to be police officers. You get what I'm saying? For them to be able to come to the hood.
No, I'm not saying
that.
But I'm saying all police officers. They gotta have no background. If you're a police officer and you're in the hood, I'd rather my police officer be black.
But this is the thing. But you're not listening to what I'm saying. Because they have to have a want to be a police officer for us to have more black police officers.
So y'all suggesting that black people don't want to be police officers?
No.
That's what she suggested.
No, that's not what I'm saying. Because this is the thing. The reason why it's a lot of white police officers is because there's a lack of black police officers. You get what I'm saying?
That's not true.
What?
Hey, so you saying it's a lack of black? So are you saying the reason why it's a lack of black police officers is because black people don't want to be police officers?
No, that's not what I'm saying.
I would say there's a lot of evidence to reflect that. I would say that there is evidence to reflect that. I think that there's way more evidence to reflect that than there's evidence to reflect these academies are just getting droves of people, black/African American.
They're hiring blacks now. Blacks been wanting to be cops. They hiring us now. We've been wanting to be cops, bro. They hiring us now. That should be passed down.
So what you saying? What you saying that's like very much the opposite, bro. Like it's very, very difficult for somebody that grew up in an environment that I talked about, that I consider the hood to be a cop. It's so many factors.
No, you made a good point.
Make you not eligible.
You made a good point. But what I'm saying is, more so than that, there is a subcultural sentiment that frowns upon policing as a career.
But that don't mean people
diminishes
because they don't frown on $72,000 a year.
No,
so
I understand that. But the sentiments you grow up with subculturally, and a lot of you guys spoke about this, contribute to how you want to commit your life, contribute to what decisions you make, contribute to the stigma that's placed on you by your mother, your father, your sister, your brother, your neighbors.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is, there is the career of being a police officer in certain communities is frowned upon. Maybe for potentially good reason. But right now that we're here now, maybe folks should reevaluate and say, maybe we should rethink the role of a police officer. What is a police officer? Why are they here? They're here because we have crime.
Right.
That's why police were invented, because there is crime.
But the thing,
we need to stop crime. Maybe we should step in that role and help our community through neutralizing crime.
But okay, and the other 2 points that I did want to make was that, and what you were saying to me was, do I feel like that's why people don't? It's not that I don't think black people want to be police officers. I think, like you said, it's hard for us to be police officers. We need more motherfuckers that have, you know what I'm saying, that are eligible to be police officers. But the thing is, we can sit and complain that we can't, they're not eligible. In order to change the system, we got to do it. We got to do something about it.
But you just heard what he said, though. You don't know you eligible because your cousin a big time and heavy nigga. You don't know that's not gonna make you eligible. You didn't know that's gonna fuck you up. Your cousin sold drugs 15 years after. You don't know that's not gonna make you not a cop.
But this is what I'm saying. Somebody has, if you know that's the problem, and you have a problem with it being a problem, what do we do when we have a problem? What did they do when we didn't have rights? We protested, right? Because we want exactly. So if you got a problem with us not say we can't just have this conversation and say that we don't, you know what I'm saying? Well, this is the problem and it's fucked up and this is that. You gonna change it? If you're not gonna change it, then you got to shut the fuck up. Period.
Yeah, we've seen mass efforts made.
You can petition. You can do a lot of different shit.
To her point, we've seen people literally raise hell.
The government
for what they want to happen and to change things systemically. We do not see people raising hell saying, let us in the police department. In fact, here in Chicago, just a couple weeks ago, there were individuals who are members of the community protesting a police academy, which is actually, in a way, an opportunity hub for people of the community. Mm-hmm. Maybe it could be viewed as that because there's not much industry going on in the community that's being put in for whatever reason. Right. You know, I love that community in every community of my home city, Chicago. But there's people protesting a police academy. This is a learning institution being put in their community. Instead of saying, bust the door down, let us in and participate in this academy, they're saying remove it altogether, not even proposing any substitute.
So for one, you're putting a police academy in my neighborhood that most of the people in my neighborhood systematically are going to be kept out of regardless. And you can spend other money in
no one's protesting them being kept out, though.
Okay, there's a lot of shit that's fucked up that people not protesting. So
but they're protesting a lot of things.
But hold on.
Okay,
they're able to protest.
That's fine. Okay, so that's one side of it. Another side of it is neighborhoods are already over policed. And I'm gonna give you an example. District 22. You got the white side of it and the black side of it. There's police officers that work in District 22 that will tell you, if I go over there and arrest somebody, my commander's gonna ask me, why are you on that side? Even though this is my jurisdiction, stay on this side.
Well, let me ask you this: which side has more crime?
The black side.
You still can over police a neighborhood. So if I arrest somebody, that means it was a crime that happened and I arrested somebody. But
I'm not involved with law enforcement at all. I don't have a lot of knowledge of the logistics of law enforcement, but I do think with my logical mind that if I were to start a police force, I would put more officers where there's more crime.
Exactly.
I probably would.
So, but would you question somebody for arresting somebody who did a crime? Would you question your officer and ask them, why are you over there in the first place? Not about the crime that just happened, but why are you over there in the first place? And we talk about
I think in that situation probably both were questioned. They probably did ask about the crime that happened. But I would say that if I'm placing officers in a certain area, like I said, I'm placing more officers where there's more crime.
Place them with more crime.
Why weren't you where you were placed? Yeah, I would.
What if it's 100 cops over here and 3 cops over here? Where's more crime going to be seen at?
With 100 cops in.
So we talk about this missing shit, right? St. Patrick's Day parade. We got public drinking. We got fights that's broken up. That no one's going to jail. We have all type of illegal shit going on, and it's dismissed on a public scale. This shit is publicly. This is not some shit. We in the hood, a police officer see some weed, like, all right, go ahead, on some secret shit. This is publicly dismissed. It's on the fucking news that people walking around drinking, and it's okay, but it's still illegal. So this is something.
I was actually one of those people. I hope you guys could come be one of those people with me next year. I'm just saying, like,
it's a lot of shit that we looked at, like, oh, we don't, like, it could be bad if it's black people dismissing crime. Crime get dismissed all the time. When it happens on the white side, it's like, oh,
here's the X factor. Here's the
X. That's where the relation come in at, though, bro, because white people run the police force. So it's a white system. So at the end of the day, it's white is policing every neighborhood, even if it's black cops, it's still a white system. So at the end of the day, I get it. I used to party and kick it for St. Patrick's Day too. So let them do their thing. It's the same fucking thing, G. But with us, it's just a stigma that we're we're criminals, G.
But this is the
like,
thing about
that's not even seen as crime, even though it's illegal, G.
But it's when you say like police brutality, you know what I mean? A lot of times when I think of police brutality is when you are wrongfully accused. You get what I'm saying? That's how I look at it. But when it comes down to it, it's like, even though he was in the wrong neighborhood, G, we still got to be accountable for what we do. If you're doing a crime, you still going to jail. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't be mad that he was in the wrong neighborhood. He should never been in the wrong neighborhood. He still was doing a crime, though. You know what I'm saying?
This is people who run the police force who feel this way in what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
What?
The commander of the police force is asking the officer, like, why are you even over here?
Right, and he should be accountable, and he should be punished for being over there because that's not his district. But however,
it is his district. Simone, what I'm saying is, it's one district. It's district 42, and in one district, it's just like
the district so big that it's two parts to the district.
If you cross Vincennes, it's Beverly.
Yeah.
So that's the white side. If you over here,
well, that's white. They're actually
Beverly. Okay, but he was saying,
I grew up in Beverly. I'm gonna stop you real quick, just because I grew up in Beverly.
Right.
Beverly's very diverse, actually, and it's probably a very significant portion black as well.
That's considered the white side, though. Let's keep it 100.
What y'all
very diverse.
Bro, what I'm saying, that's just an example. I'm not using that as a concrete. That's an example of me.
Why is the diverse side the white side, though? Why is it not?
All right, so look.
I can answer that in a second. But at the end of the day, what I'm saying is
he was not supposed to be over there, right?
Yes, he was. But what I'm saying is, listen, it's one district. It's one district. I have jurisdiction to go anywhere I want. The commander is telling me, get on this side. I can go anywhere I want, G. You know what I'm saying? But if I arrest somebody over here, he's saying, why you over there in the first place? It's still my district. I could be over here. But you a white commander telling me leave the white people alone. That's what I'm saying, G.
I don't
As
get
a
that.
cop, I have the right to arrest him over here. But you my commander and you white saying, stay on the black side.
Do you know the race? So the person real quick, the person who was arrested on the so-called, we'll say you guys call it the white side. What race was that person?
It was a white person.
It was a white person. Okay.
On the white side.
Did you ask that explicitly?
I have to ask. He told me the whole story.
He told you it was a white person.
I'm saying Beverly.
I'm from Beverly.
It wasn't even in Beverly.
Beverly is not.
But what y'all arguing? What y'all arguing has not. Y'all getting away from the topic is what I'm trying to tell y'all. Right. Because at the end of the day, what I'm saying is, police brutality. Even if we got a bunch of motherfuckers that was from the hood, police brutality is still going to go on. What we're saying is, how are we going to stop it? You know what I'm saying? What is your plan to stop it? Because even if you get motherfuckers in the hood, if I go out the hood and motherfuckers still can mistreat me. You get what I'm saying? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, you can get 150 black motherfuckers to stand on 103rd. You get what I'm saying? And sympathize with our ass. But once we go out of 103rd, motherfuckers not sympathizing with us. So that doesn't solve the problem. You get what I'm saying? It doesn't solve the problem. What you need to do is, how are we going to fight? You know what I'm saying? Because how are we going to fight the fact that we're still being targeted? You get what I'm saying? You might not be targeted in your hood anymore, but you're still targeted.
Bullshit gonna still go on, mama. I just wish it go on for my own people. That's all I'm saying. If motherfucker hit me in the head with a bottle, let a black man hit me in the head with a bottle.
I don't want to be hit in the head with a bottle.
Hey. If that's what you're looking for, I'll tell you, there's plenty of black folks getting hit on the head with bottles by other black folks.
But that's all. I just want to.
That's happening.
Done wrong by my people.